Good morning, guys. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving and got your bellies full. So we woke up to a pretty red market. And for the most part, you know, this is gonna happen, especially when we're getting closer to the holidays and whatnot. Just a lot of companies, you know, taking their profit, their quarterly profits. So, you know, this is just what we adapt to, you know. And the nice thing about using the algorithms is we can adapt to any condition. So I got a few ones on my target list today that we might get into some plays. Even though this is a half day for the market, we could still make some profit or maybe get some longer out calls. So let's take a look at what's going on. So obviously we see that you know, we had the gap down. We were already watching this on the futures last night, so you know, we knew that the market was going to drop this morning, and now it's really just depending on if, you know, SPY wants to stay in these 460 levels. So just in this current sample that we're looking at on this lower chart on the 10-minute sample, we're really close to this evaluated area right here. Okay, so that's the level I'm watching right now, is this 460. I think if we can't get through the 460, I think the market wants to push down to probably 440, 449, somewhere around there. Obviously this might not happen all at once, but it could project, you know, it's projecting to go lower. Now, if we do stay above this, then we're going to get into a choppy range, I think, for the holiday season. Unless they really want to push the market up before Christmas, then maybe we can get up to those 480s like we talked about before. And let me get onto a different time chart just to so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Because again, I'm just a spokesperson for the algorithms. Algorithms are really telling me what's going on. So we got this level here, right? This gap down. It was way out of the deviated level. You know, deviated from the mean, this middle zone here, right? So either it wants to pop back up through there, and like I said, it's going to get into a range trap, or you know, it can drop down, you know, even lower, and it's possible. It could definitely happen. When it's in these conditions right here, it could definitely drop more if that's the case, right? So something we're going to watch for this morning, like I said, anything over 461, 63, you know, you might be able to get into some SPY calls, but it's still very risky. If we look at VIX, you know, the inverse of SPY, you can see, you know, the reaction is the opposite. We're going up and we're running into resistance at 24, or a new price evaluated area at 24, right? Could always go higher. That's why we say that. Because resistance, you know, the wording resistance is what gets finicky. You know, people see that word as like, oh, well, that means as soon as it hits resistance, then the price is going to reject. That's not true. That's why I'm trying to incorporate new lingo into my definitions. And it's not really new, but, you know, we just don't use it that much, right, in technical analysis. So I'm just incorporating it more just so I don't get myself into a situation where I'm assuming that when the price hits that level, it's going to stop and go down. We know that the probability of the price going down is high, but there's always a case that it could turn into, you know, a farther destination to a new evaluated area for price. So when it comes to VIX, this evaluation here is at 24, right? It's fading right now, but if it does want to test this 24, then the next level would be 26, 30, etc., right? If we're really going to go down to 440 on SPY, that's what we would hedge against. We'd probably hedge it with those 25 or the $27 calls. All right, so Bitcoin also had a nice little dump as well, and Bitcoin has been down, dropping, you know, from its previous high at 68,000. So we're still waiting for a reversal, just, you know, where they're going to get interested. And it's odd enough, again, with these levels, and it blows my mind sometimes. Other people don't see them, but look, if you look at this price here at 49,000, now put a 4 in front of that, and you get 449,000, right? But if you take away those other numbers, you just get 449. Coincidental that maybe SPY could be going to 449 too? I don't know. It's just those numbers are really close together, so maybe they're just kind of moving. They're playing with this. They're playing both markets, right? So it's probably just coincidence, even though there's no such thing as coincidences in life. It is pretty interesting though. So I think we're still going to go lower. I think 49,000 is going to be the area where it's going to retest, and a new evaluation is going to happen. And then from there, you know, it's up to the bulls if they want to get into this lower, cheaper area. And then if they do, then I would say over 50,000 is a safer play. And then maybe we can get into, you know, the 60,000 zone again. But for now, we're bullish. We're testing a bullish bearish scenario, right? Testing means that we haven't necessarily broke this critical zone here on the bands, right? But if that does break, then that's that level that we're going to look at here next, is the 49,000. If it holds, then again it's going to get into this little squeeze, into this chop zone on the bands. So it's still going to squeeze, right? It would have to either break out really hard, or it's going to consolidate more on this mean right here. Okay, so really important to pay attention to today. We might see that reaction as much as we're seeing with the other markets too. So right now we're seeing that it's holding at this 53,000, right? That's the only information that we have available. Resistance for it right now is at 54.8. So if it breaks above 54.8, then maybe we might see a little more bullish players, and this could be a real bounce for Bitcoin, right? So it's still about 50-50, a little 60% on the bull side right now. All right, so let's take a look at some of these other stocks. Tesla, you know, everything really reacted about the same. The only ones that didn't react as much were the ones that were already overbought or oversold, right? Undervalued. And we'll get to those in a second. So Tesla is also reevaluating this level at 1074. You can tell, you know, this has been a previous evaluated area, and it does like to get a response in this price level. So we'll see if 1070 is that level again. Now, if it is, then I think it's safe to say that we can probably get into 1,500 calls for Tesla. I do see that it is in the red. So there is a high probability that the price could go down lower. That's why we're watching this 1070 like a hawk today. And if it does break, then our next level evaluate area would be about 976. So 976 would be, if you're trying to short this down, I would look at about the 950 calls, or the, 950 puts. So, just really important. So another level is at the 1050 evaluated area, which is really close to the 1070. So we'll see if this is a level that might be a bigger buy area on the open in about 30 minutes actually. And pardon for this video coming out a little late, but you know what the thing is these videos are, you can look back on these things because some of these haven't projected what we've already, what we're predicting, what I'm predicting yet, right? They haven't projected all the way. So we can look back and see what the progress is and if they're getting closer to those target goals. So when it comes to Tesla, 1,500 calls is it's pretty far out of bounds right now. If it does break below the 1070, that's really important, guys. That's what I'm really trying to hone into you. They don't care about day traders. They never have. They just care about these new evaluated targets that they're trying to get to and see if they can entice bigger buyers or bigger spenders to come in and play. right? So if they're not enticed in it, we just wait for the best entry, right? So our best entry honestly would be about 976, 987, that range over there, right? Because it could bounce at 987, it could go a little lower at 976, but right now we're watching 1070. That doesn't mean we get into this trade, right? We're watching it right now. Okay, so PayPal is another example, right? Where yes, PayPal has dropped, it has hit our target level. We got really close to the 85 or I think it was, yeah, about 85 or so, and it's been holding on that level. So we have a new evaluated level. This is great. Sometimes it's so nice when the market just gives us something, right? And that's giving this 190 zone. So 190 target evaluated area. If we hit that, baby, we can then look at the 200, right? Then we can look at the 200 calls, but we don't mess with them until it gets over that number. Okay, so I'm trying to keep this as simplistic as possible. Right now, the line's saying it's bullish. There's more bulls playing right now, but if it breaks this 185 zone, then it's going to be going even lower, right? So let's just pay attention and get our entry right on the money this time instead of buying here, but try to get into the 190s. And it's going to be choppy, right? It's going to be tricky, but that might be the better call today for PayPal. All right, so Apple has been going on a tear, and Apple still can keep moving, and we're still showing bullish on the 2-minute chart here and also on this 10-minute chart. So you'll see that I like to use the 10-minute for Nessie with the 2-minute. I just think they pair up really well together. If you see my cursor, you can see that they're almost correlating with the same price evaluated area that passed. I don't know what I would call it, maybe a support, but yeah, this is that zone right here. Is what they're testing right now, right? This 458 or 158. So if it stays above 158, our next ever level is where it felt evaluated area was 162. We get above 164, that's when we can get into the 180 calls, guys. That's what I'm looking at. So again, we're kind of waiting for those bigger areas to get tested for us to get into safer entries, because these entries right now are extremely risky. Okay, so we want to wait until it gets over something that was it's going to have more concrete, more foundation, right, for the play. Obviously, if we got down here in this 138 zone, that was the best target, right? And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're taking profit from all this this area here, right? All this profit they got, they're taking profit, and that's a smart move. They're taking some, maybe they're holding some, whatever, but that's how we have to think as well, right? Best entries. So it's not necessarily just by the dip, it's by the best entry, right? And what the dip is correlating with, right? If the dip's correlating in the green bands, that's a better entry than just buying some, gap down or something that happened, right? So something always to watch for, especially when you see gap downs. Sometimes those things can consolidate forever. Like it might take till Monday till that thing's ready to pop up, right? So we gotta wait for the solid entries. Okay, more reaction that way, right? More reaction if we wait for those better entries, and that's what Nessie and that's what these algorithms provide you, is those better entries. Whew. All right, so Netflix has already moved up. It gapped up this morning, right? So we're probably looking back into those 800 calls again. Now, granted, I do see a level here that is not responding yet. So this is important to watch, guys. This could just be another take profit zone, and that's why they just bought it up this morning, right? So we're going to be paying attention to it. That's why we're not going to play it yet until it holds over 676, right? If it holds over 676, then we got that open room here for those 700 calls, 800 calls, and that's what we're looking for. That means it's going to retest this zone, right? So it's interesting that Nessie hasn't actually responded yet to this, right? Sometimes that happens because it wasn't a volatile reason that it sold, right? For instance, like through here, this wasn't a volatile reason that it sold. Here, it absolutely was, right? This is why it broke down. So those are things that we're watching for. We obviously see this level here on the Wave FX, guys. And if you have not got the Wave FX yet, you need to get this, right? I mean, this is going to help you so much. And all you do is just watch these levels. It's really simple. Right now it's telling me it's at the 2 deviated zone. Right now there was a little bit of a dispute between standard deviations, right? And I understand standard deviations, of course, it's statistics, you know, in college, but there's different formulas and studies that you can use for your data, right? Not all data is created equal, so we can't just say everything is standard, right? These are using a different method, right, that I've incorporated, that I've seen higher results, right, in my back testing. So I won't dive into that, right, because that's like the secret sauce, and if everybody knew it, then it wouldn't be viable anymore, right, guys? So we get back to this Wave FX here, right? You see the mean here right in the middle. Just pretend that this is like we're looking at these bands here, okay? The mean is saying is 658.86. Where are we right now? We're at 672. So it's basically saying a healthier entry would be at 658.86, right? Right now it's overbought. Volatility is about 75%. So it might be fading, and that's kind of what we're seeing. It gapped up and it faded. So we're gonna see either if the volatility increases, right, even in this overbought zone, that means that they're trying to get it up to that the 676 evaluated area, right? They're going to try to hit that again. So we always just want to correlate these together. This is a very powerful system, and I am actually going to do a class on this, because I think once you guys fully grasp this system, it's going to be so easy to trade. So easy. I've been testing it and it's just effortless right now. So that's it with Netflix, right? Obviously, if we break the this stronger hold here, I think this evaluated the 640. I don't even care about the 640 evaluation. I want the 634. So if it breaks past that, or you know, the 640, I'm looking at the 634 to get bought up again, right, guys? So that's what I'm looking for. If we stay in, you know, in this level that we're going, then we're going to those 800 calls. We're looking for that too. Nvidia, let's see, is Nvidia range? It's still range right now. You can see it's been choppy, right? Ever since it all-time highs at the 347. So if we look here, it's testing, right? Testing meaning it hasn't broke over this evaluated level yet. Once it does, it could go higher than the previous, right, at 351. That's not that higher than the previous sell, right? So we could be going a little bit sideways for Nvidia. Right now it's showing bullish, but this is bullish range, honestly, because you can see this line isn't really reacting to some new information, right? It's been reacting to just you know, the current volatility, right? Volatility is really low too, guys. Look at 10%. It's telling us 320.72 needs to stay above, right? And it's also showing that it's oversold here. So once it gets to zero, right, when it's hit zero, that's when things get interesting, and that's what I'm watching for. So over 322.47, which this means that will hit zero, that's when we should see more volatility kicking in. Now if this thing keeps dropping past this 320.73, right, because currently, where's that right now? 321. So yeah, 320.73, it drops past that, then we can see that, you know, it's not a good time yet to get into Nvidia. Okay, so our safer entry for Nvidia is 326. That's what we're looking for. That's where it dropped before. 326, we get above that, then we could probably get into those 400 calls for Nvidia. Now, if it cannot hold this level like we were talking about before, guys, then that's when I have this 292 down here. Okay, so 292, pay attention to that number. All right, so some of the stocks that we are actually trying to get into this morning, and this is definitely going over time, guys, and I apologize for that. And my computer is a potato. If it was faster, then I could get this process quicker to you guys. But yeah, so you can see a little bit of reaction, right? It's kind of the same thing that Netflix was doing, and I do see a lot of, you know, there could probably going to be some profit taking. That's why I always tell you guys to wait for the market to settle, and then we want to get a nice entry based off our levels, and we're prepared and ready for it, right? We don't want to do it just because the bell, you know, goes ding ding, and then that's when we get into place. That's a bad move. Okay, that's a bad move. Right, so volatility is at 100%, guys, 100%. So Roku could spike up pretty quick at the bell. So if you did get into calls already, then you might be okay. But if you're trying to chase this, you might get a nasty fill rate. But the thing about Roku is it moves fast, right? So I would not be surprised if we move up to 280 today. It really depends on how SPY is going to react. But because some of these other targets or some of these companies are already underweight, that means that SPY has to be patient as well before it starts retracting, right? Because that's going to really push investors to buy in, and that's going to really hit the volatility, and that's going to change basically the environment for the day. So SPY is going to have to react. The market's going to have to react bullish, even though it's trying to go down to a lower price. They're going to have to react bullish because you got all these other companies that are underweighted right now. So Roku is one of those. Zoom is one of those, right? So we're watching these two like a hawk today. These are the plays I want to get into. Zoom, I'm looking at 320 calls, and then for Roku, I'm looking at those 280 calls. Obviously, we're going to look out farther to see where we can get our best price at, maybe even 345. Guys, that's all I got for today. Again, enjoy your holidays, enjoy your weekend. I'll be back on Monday, and I'll keep you guys updated on when I can get this class in. And guess what, guys? This update for Nessie is rolling out this weekend. I have waited, you guys have waited too long, and I am releasing this bad boy. So be ready. Be ready to refresh those windows. And if you're not in this system yet, guys, it's simple. First off, you need to go to TradingView and get that Black Friday discount because it's ridiculous right now. All right, $288 for a whole year of premium. It's $60 a month usually. So do the math, guys. You're saving a lot of money. Then go ahead and get you some Omni Algos, right? And those things are gonna run real smooth on a second time chart, right? You're gonna feel like Neo on the Matrix, right? You're just gonna feel like a robot trading, especially crypto and stuff. So go ahead and take advantage of those opportunities. Hit up our website, hit up Royals Group, and follow those trades that they're getting into using the algorithms, and you got a winning combination, right? You're gonna make your money back in your first trade, I'll guarantee you. All right, guys, that's all I got. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.